This is the self-titled podcast of the Golf in Japan website, where you can check essential information in English about golfing in Japan, including more than 2,000 courses. We can help you book your round and make the whole process a whole lot easier. So check out golf-in-japan.com and start planning your Japan golf trip today.
Titleist Club Fitting, the fastest way to better. With a player-focused philosophy on fitting, Titleist offers a range of club fitting experiences from drivers to wedges. Your Titleist fitting specialist, thanks to an unmatched selection of products and technology, along with a wealth of fitting knowledge, will provide you with tour-quality fitting experience that can provide immediate benefits for your game. You can experience a fitting in English while in Japan. Just go to the Golf in Japan website and click on the Titleist banner. Or check the link in the description of this podcast. Titleist, the fastest way to better. Golf in Japan, third week of March 2025. So welcome, boys. It's me, dropping the intro now, just because we're KC free. We have no KC, even though it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, he's still recovering, probably.
He probably is, isn't he? Is that the reason he's not here today?
Who knows?
Yeah. Lying face down in the gutter somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me.
Looking for hangover remedies of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah. So the shitting on Kieran's already started, has it?
Oh, yeah. Put forth the platter, Actually, I did, as you would usually do, I tried to get inspiration off ChatGPT, and I was like, give me some racist Irish jokes. And
racist.
Yeah, I was like, give me some real racist stuff. I ChatGPT, and it can't. Yeah, so it tried. It was like, so everyone in your family, are you born with a storytelling gene, or is it something your grandparents teach you?
Well, okay.
Or there was one like, so does the Guinness tap come installed at birth or not?
Yeah. To be honest, I did the same thing. I actually wrote a couple down.
It's funny though, as Australians, the people we take sort of the mickey out of as kids, when you tell jokes, it's always the Irishman.
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Obviously it comes from, where are your grandparents or great-grandparents from?
England.
You say you're English heritage. So I'm Irish. I'm half Irish, half English.
Oh, your name, of course.
Yeah. That's very, well, not very, Irish. But yeah.
All right, I got to read a couple of these off. Yeah. So what's the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral?
I don't know.
One less drunk.
Oh.
I have more. Why did the Irishman stare at the orange juice carton for hours and hours?
Like a water into wine kind of
concentrate.
thing. Going,
It said concentrate. All right, last one, Kieran. What's an Irishman's idea of a balanced diet?
No idea.
A pint in each hand.
Okay.
I did have one good one too. It gave me one good one that might fit on that list, and it was I asked an Irish guy once. So let's say this about Kieran. I asked Kieran once for a yes or no answer. 20 minutes later, I had the full history of his hometown and a conspiracy theory about the potato famine. So, that sounds about right.
It does sound about right, actually.
They celebrated St. Patrick's Day the other day in Yokohama, so I went down there because it's not far away. It's about 30 minutes drive, so I went in there, and it was one of the main streets had like a fake St. Patrick, with a great big beard, and they had Irish dancing, and then they had a band there. There was probably a couple of hundred people there, which was really was nice. It's just the middle of the day. My middle name is Patrick as well, so one of the reasons we went down there and had a little bit of a look around, and it was good. Love that Irish dancing. Actually, I half expected Kieran to be there, but of course he wasn't. But
I mean, he has that history, right? So there's that video of him online somewhere where he's singing on the platform, the train platform, wearing all green, and
that's right. I've actually Googled that. Have you watched that before? If you just Google, it's on YouTube. If you Google his name, it comes up, and he's belting out a few tunes. And he's, as we all know, he's got a great voice. He's a great singer.
He'll probably try to edit this.
Yeah,
top secret information here coming out. But I think the Irish can take it. I think that's why it's fun to give them a rib, like a bit of a ribbing. Is that I
kind of feel like St. Paddy's Day was a little bit low key this year, especially in Tokyo.
Well, I think it's because it was supposed to. It's on Monday. But they celebrated it on the weekend because they're not really going to celebrate it on Monday. But yeah, there wasn't, other than that little bit in Yokohama, there might have been something in Tokyo.
I'm not sure if it's in Australia or somewhere where on St. Paddy's Day they colour the lake.
Green. Yeah. Yeah, it was colouring
like-
beer green and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. It became a really big thing in Singapore when I was there.
Oh,
Over the years.
I can imagine
But
Singapore.
it's funny that things haven't sort of continued here or got strong. What's the other day that's become really popular here? The American
Halloween.
which has become really big here. You would have thought St. Patrick's
Even
Day might have
American
taken off like
Thanksgiving.
that.
They're pushing on American Thanksgiving in
yeah.
Japan, which just makes no sense.
Really?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, like, that's another country's, kind of like a foundational
Oh,
story.
it's just another
Yeah,
like, come on,
commercial
guys.
opportunity.
Yeah,
to-
Make a
Exactly.
Japanese holiday
Yeah.
to sell stuff if you need to,
Well, that's what it would be. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day, we just sell more green beer and green T-shirts and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, like unfortunately, some of the history is lost. I'm sure there is some nice history, which I think I heard about when I was a kid. But
There's got to be great
okay.
history
Yeah.
behind it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we can have Casey tell us about it upon his return
Yeah, that's right.
when he's sobered up a little bit.
speaking of stuff, though, like you were saying that you didn't feel like Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day was hot this year. Like I've been feeling a lot of hanami in the air. Being in Japan, I really feel that build up towards like the cherry blossom viewing, the hanami. Like, I mean, even just amongst my family or friends and stuff like that, people are starting to like, hey, so like we got plans for that because it's going to sneak up on you real fast. And,
Yeah,
and
the flowers are already
blossoms
out, aren't they?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, some of them.
The ume.
Yeah, is that the pink? Does it have, is it particularly always pink, or it can be
The sakura?
Ume is a different
The
type
one
of
that-
flower.
right,
comes
maybe
up,
that's
and
what I'm
it's-
talking
and it's
about.
a darker pink.
But
Yeah, okay.
it comes out on the same tree.
No,
It's a different tree.
It's a different tree. Yeah.
Okay.
It's ume. So as you know, is plum. There's three. There's plum, and then there's one before that, and then but then like the big one though that's world famous would be the cherry blossoms.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's like on my kitchen table. We've got some branches
Oh,
from
dear.
from the supermarket kind of thing, and like they're in full bloom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well.
under ideal conditions.
I mean, you go to the golf courses now and you can tell which are all going to be the sakura trees. Because
Yeah.
they're absolutely like
Well, they're bare at the moment.
bare
aren't
at
they?
the moment, yeah.
Why did I not draw that connection? So like we're coming up on a nice little a holiday, the spring equinox, the day after tomorrow. And I was looking forward to, getting it out, but I hadn't even made that connection, Damon. I'll be able to see sakura on the golf courses this year. Why not?
But not on Thursday.
Not on Thursday, maybe not. But yeah, like definitely I'll have to make a plan for that.
For sure.
Yeah, I've never seen that yet. And
Yeah, we're getting a lot of bookings now, a lot of inquiries for, I want to see the sakura on the golf course,
Yeah, which you
Which
will.
The thing is, you don't need to choose a golf course. It's going to be on every
Yeah,
golf course.
they are everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would make a point of it. It's a garden. I mean,
Yeah.
they like
I
much
cannot-
care goes into these.
I
things.
cannot imagine
Yeah.
any golf course in Japan not having one sakura tree.
It's true. Yeah.
Even just the parking lot is going to be,
Yeah, it will be
exploded.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be mega this year.
You've been so busy recently, Damon. You've had like lots of partner golf. Like I was going to ask you to tell us more about it. Like you've had one last Friday, yesterday. There's someone coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's right. Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, taking a lot of people out and showing them golf in Japan. To be honest, it's really, really fun. They're getting out, being able to really experience how it's all done. The lunch after 9 holes, the onsen afterwards,
Transportation.
transportation.
That's mega. Like seriously, like be able to just sit back. And we were talking about it this morning. We were saying how like, even if you know what you're doing, just to kind of like let someone to walk you through the whole experience, because even at the best of times, like Joe, I'm sure like, you're a professional, but there's got to be times where you're just like, ugh, I'd love to just have someone tell me like when to stop, when to put down my beer and, get on the cart so we can head
Where do
out.
I buy another one?
Yeah, but I think that's the big upside of what you're doing too. It's just take the pressure off people, help them to get there, help them check in, because it can be a little bit. It's not a difficult process, but it can be maybe one of the reasons why people decide they don't go and play golf. Is for that reason.
It's
so
so
you
true.
hold their hand all the way through, and this is what
Yep.
you do here.
Not
and this is
physically,
what you do.
but-
No,
yeah.
but maybe for you physically.
Yeah, that's extra. Yeah.
That's extra.
Because I think it's always a little bit of a difficult thing for people coming over. It's the stop after 9 holes. Where do you go? What do you do?
Totally.
Things
Yeah.
like that. And it's for you to be right there beside them, helping them along.
Yeah.
There's a huge upside to that.
Yeah, I've also got my what do you call it? The intro all down packed now. So when I
okay.
pick them up and
Sure.
everything, guys, I've just started playing golf. I'm really bad. So,
Like, so this is good market research because this is exactly what I could say in all honesty without the gag. Do they accept it or?
well, I've been playing so badly lately. I've got to say something. Otherwise, I don't even. You work for Golf in Japan. You must be really good.
No
You play a lot
way.
every week.
You're playing well though, right?
No, really
what?
badly lately.
But this whole service it starts from you will pick them up from their hotel
Yes.
in the Batmobile and take them to wherever you're playing. And
Yeah,
then-
basically we'll go as far as about an hour and a half away, so you can
Okay.
actually get all the way out to Fuji,
Yeah.
right.
or
Oh, there's a lot of options.
There is
in there.
probably about 300 plus golf courses
Yeah.
that we could potentially go to.
And you also drop them off afterwards. You'll drop them back to the hotel afterwards.
Yep.
Well, that makes even more sense in terms of the cost
100%.
because they're not having to worry about it's the Shinkansen or the bullet, whatever train there is out to the local station, and then there's the taxi to the golf course, and then the other way. So that's really good.
We're kind
value,
of
actually.
burying the lead here too, which is that it's difficult to play solo in Japan. Or maybe at all,
it is.
maybe entirely. And so with this, you get the twosome, in which case, you
That's
can
right.
actually book places that otherwise you cannot.
Yeah,
So the
that's right.
courses that actually offer the singles, which means you are paired with other singles, are usually medium to lower end golf courses,
Yeah, right.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So the nicer golf courses, they don't offer it.
No.
So you'd have to book for two players,
Yeah.
which is where the golf partner service is really, really good.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you consider how cheap Japan is in many aspects, like the food, even the golf, to be honest, is quite cheap, especially coming from the US,
Yeah.
whatever, with the exchange rate. But what's expensive is the travel.
Yeah, it is.
Uber, taxi, or a private driver is expensive.
Yeah.
So if you want to travel an hour to a golf course by an Uber and an hour back, you're probably paying the best part of $400 to $500.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been here long enough where I don't even that doesn't surprise me at all. That's just part and parcel, right? That's what's interesting is a lot of times jobs will that's pay for your transportation because otherwise that would be a problematic. So when it comes to work to the company and stuff like that. So I think that's something that sneaks up on you, isn't it?
But yeah,
I was curious. I wanted to ask which courses specifically, but maybe another time.
Specifically, you played.
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, or Friday, starting with last Friday.
Yep, last Friday. Oh, we played at one of Pro Joe's courses, Taiheo Gotemba West.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez, again.
Yep, and if you check out our Instagram account, there's a really good video there of the pollen coming off the trees.
Oh, that was
it was the hay
like
fever.
smoke.
It looked like smoke. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful course. Yeah, typical Fuji. We drove from Tokyo to Fuji. About an hour 20. Just absolutely gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky. Took lots of photos going in. Got to the golf course. Couldn't see it for 17
Oh
holes.
God.
It's because
It just clouds over. It was literally, we're driving up to the golf course, just beautiful. You could just see it. It's just lovely. A couple of minutes away, and we arrive, and then what?
Yeah,
it's just gone. It's just the mystique of Fuji. It's always like that. And then last hole. Oh, there she is.
Oh,
and
okay.
we drive home, and not a cloud in the sky. Again.
Really, but you got some photos. Of
We did
them
some
with
good photos
Fuji in the background. Yeah,
Yep.
because that's
And
always a bucket list thing.
That's
for
right.
people.
It sounds
That's
like
a great
it sounds like
course.
Fuji's in control with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I love that course, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Great
nice.
course.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we played at the Golf Club Yugasaki, which is another one of my favorites. It's a grand PGM, so it's a higher rank of the PGM courses. It's in Ibaragi, about an hour away.
I've played there. Is that the one that's got inside the clubhouse? Has got the range where you can warm up actually inside the the clubhouse.
It's adjacent to the clubhouse.
Sorry, it's next to the clubhouse.
Yeah,
but
it's got
undercover.
about 5 bays.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
simulators.
I've played it. That's a good golf course.
That's a great golf course. Yeah, I played there a few times. So yeah, played there with a couple of US friends, customers. They're friends now.
Yeah.
We had a great day out. A little bit windy.
What's that course like? Is it would you say that it's kind of narrow, or is it a lot of verticality, or
It's got a bit of everything, to be honest. It's tree lined. Verticality.
I love it. It's that word.
up down?
Yeah.
Does it have left, right?
Yeah. But no, it's
good golf course. It's quite traditionally Japanese. Like it's got some trees in the center of fairways.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's the designer, I think, is Shunsuke Kato, who was the one that designed Gotemba and 10 of our original golf courses.
Oh.
Really good golf course. I quite liked it there. I remember it. Yeah, it's narrow in spots, very tree lined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in really good condition, pretty golf course.
But even in the tree line, I kind of feel like you can still play it.
You can, yeah.
You know, you can go to other places. As soon as you hit the tree line, it's like out of bounds.
Like Narashino.
Narashino or something.
Yeah.
But it's still quite playable.
Yeah.
And then coming up tomorrow.
Coming up tomorrow is back out to Mana Country Club, which is designed by Gary
It's a
Player.
Gary Player course, yeah. Is that part of Resol?
It's a Resol course, another great course of their 18 courses throughout Japan. But unfortunately, the weather doesn't look too great.
Does it? Oh, yeah, I think it's the forecast in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's actually
not great.
They're talking about potential snow again tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking of with the Hanami and everything like that. We had snow in the sunshine this morning when I left my house. Like,
really?
Yeah, opened the door to let my daughter out to school, and like, you know, it's on the right, it's snow. On the right, it's sunny as the day is long, and then on the left, it's all dark and snowing, and just but then also sun on the left hand side as well. So just like somehow like peeking through the sunshine is this snow coming down. So it's just hard to predict where the weather's going to be coming up these days.
It is chilly today, though.
But if you look at the forecast,
not good.
This is it. The last couple of days, and then it's spring is here. I think.
Yeah. The weather's going to be, I think it's going to low 20s in the next week or so. So
yeah, bring it on.
Looking forward to it.
And then straight up into the Hanami. When would you say that like the cherry blossoms and stuff like that? Is that in another 2 weeks or like
what part of Japan?
Oh yeah, here.
Yeah, I suppose next couple of weeks.
Yeah. But it changes every year. It's to me. I've been here.
It's hard to predict.
10 or 20 or 11 years, I can't remember now. But I reckon it gets earlier and earlier. Do you think? Or am I on drugs?
I don't know. Because I feel like winter's getting later and later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like around graduation. So I mean, it's just been so busy. Like I was going to bring up the players and talk to you guys about what Rory shenanigans and whatnot. It seems like there's a lot to unpack there, but like it's just been so busy. Like, you know, who's got time to watch that stuff? There's been graduations going on, and now planning for Hanami, and so like to your comment, I feel like those are getting further and further apart where they're supposed to be roughly the same time. So who knows, man?
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, with the players, like so. I like, you know, my phone was even swarmed with cool videos. I saw one where Rory was taking the phone off of a fan.
Yeah, he did. The kid heckled him on the back of the 18th tee. Apparently, this kid's he's a college golfer, and he said something, and then Rory very strangely just walked up to him and said, "Give me your phone," and the kid just gave him Rory the phone. I don't know what happened after that, but
he gave it back.
Yeah, but it was just a strange.
He confiscated it.
Yeah, just a strange. I mean, the kid shouldn't be standing there.
Spit out your gum.
I feel. I mean, he wasn't nice to Rory. I get it.
Yeah.
He heckled him. Rory's meant to be a professional athlete. Come on.
Yeah.
And this kid now, I guarantee you, is going to have a hard life. He's in a golf club at school.
Yeah.
And his school's already come out and, you know, belittled him a little bit and told him, you know. I think it's going to be quite hard for this poor kid. I feel sorry for him. Rory can grow up a little bit.
I think Rory needs to grow up. And then they asked him about it, I think that evening, about the situation. And the guy asked him about it, and he said, "I don't want you to talk about it." And he said, "Why?" And he said, I just don't want to answer any questions about it. And he said, "I was very happy about the 67 I shot today." Rory's a bit of a strange cat sometimes. So it was a strange reaction to the kid taking his phone. But he should, you're right, he should be able to just walk away.
And it's not the first time he's reacted like this. If you remember, like 2 years ago, the remote control ball on the green, you know, he could have laughed at it, walked away, done anything. Instead, he chose to pick up the ball and throw it into the lake.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. It was the wrong reaction.
Wow,
you know,
I had not even considered that there could be repercussions for that kid, you know, like, or, you know, for the young man who was heckling. But, you know, in the golf world, it does make sense. Although also, like, to the counterpoint of that, like, a little bit make an example out of him. I mean, like, you know, hecklers should shut up as well. So if that kid gets in trouble and it makes anyone think twice about, you know, disturbing the decorum, then, you know, so be it as well too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a nasty comment too. I sort of see both sides, but the kid shouldn't have done it. I mean, it's like,
he's a kid.
He is a kid, but it's also Rory's office. I mean, it's like if I came into your office here and start making snarky comments.
Yeah, but I can lock the door.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. Poor old Rory.
No, I got no sympathy for Rory, unfortunately.
Especially after he won as well.
He did. He won this morning.
Playoff,
And the playoff was really disappointing. It's a 3-hole aggregate, so they play 16, 17, 18, par 5, par 3, and then finish on a par 4. Rory made a birdie on the first hole. JJ Spawn kind of hit a fat bunker shot. Anyway, made par, and then Rory hit it on the 17th green, and JJ Spawn airmailed it and made triple. Rory made par, so he was... Oh, no, sorry, Rory made bogey, so it was 2 shots. So he's 3 shots ahead going up the last. Complete anticlimax. They both blow it into the trees on the right-hand side. Chip it out, and I think both 2-putt it. So Rory won by 3. Complete anticlimax, and it was really difficult conditions.
That other guy, you said his name is JJ?
JJ Spawn.
Was he the one in the Strixon hat?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the Strixon hat.
That was the thing that really stood out to me, and I was like nervous. I'm like, that's not Matsuyama, is it? Like,
yeah, he's a journeyman. He's been off and on the tour for a while, and he won in Texas a few years ago, and he's back on tour, and he's had some really great finishes this year already. So a second in the Players, I think, was worth $2.7 million. So it's kind of a life-changing thing.
wow.
That amount of money. He's already wealthy anyway, but
What did Rory get?
I think it'd be up near 4, I think, something like that. So the Players is considered the fifth major. It's got the strongest field in golf. Typically, not now because the guys from LIV aren't in the field. But it was a really good finish. The trouble was the leaderboard. I mean, there was probably only 1 or 2 guys on the leaderboard that people actually know who they are.
Rory being one of them for sure.
Rory being one of them.
Just seeing him all through my YouTube timeline and stuff like that, it was nothing but Rory. So I knew something had happened.
So JJ Spawn, McIlroy, Lucas Glover is a good player, but he's a little bit older. He's in his early 40s. Tom Hoagie he's a good player. Bhatia, now Connors, Walker, Corley, McIntyre, Thompson, and then it gets to Morikawa, who would know. So it was like not like a Corn Ferry Tour event, but where are the stars? I mean, half of them are on LIV. They are. And then the others are just not performing.
Can you say that again, please?
That's the last time I'll say that. But yeah, ready to. But Rory's playing the best golf at the moment, so he ended up winning the tournament.
If anybody else had been there, do you think that they might have won? Or was it like, it doesn't matter who was there, Rory would have won that?
You can't say that.
Yeah, sort of they didn't. Yeah, they didn't. I mean, Morikawa was there for a little bit. What's he, the young Australian? Minwoo Lee, he was kind of up there and fell away, shot 78, I think, in the 3rd round. Scotty Scheffler wasn't part of the tournament, really. I mean, he made the cut. Justin Thomas shot 61 or 62 in the 2nd round, but then sort of fell away after that.
He made some news recently, though, too, right? Didn't he set a record?
He said he tied the record. The course
shot
record.
60. He bogeyed the last hole, too, to shoot 60. Was it 61 or 62? Yeah, which is unbelievable around there. I played there a couple of years ago. They have the golf show in Orlando, so we drove across to Sawgrass, up to Sawgrass, about 3 hours away. Ran out of petrol on the way there too, so we didn't have a chance to hit balls in the range or anything like that. That's another story for another day. What a golf course, though. It's unbelievable. Probably the most beautiful golf course I've ever played on or ever seen. Just when you drive in, it's the clubhouse is amazing and the food's great and the pro shop's cool and the driving range is immaculate and the golf course is tough, especially the front 9. And that finish is, I mean, that 17th hole, you don't quite realise it, but that green is so small. I missed it. I hit it in the water. I actually hit an okay shot and hit it in the water. So the pressure that those guys are under.
Where were they playing this? This was at the...
This is at Sawgrass. This is where the Players... The Players is played at the same golf course.
You mentioned that water. Like, that is picturesque, right? I mean, it's like, seriously, there's like a one strip of wood between the greens and
that's right. Yeah,
and
the back of the green. Yeah.
That is very dramatic.
Yeah. Hideki Matsuyama was the only Japanese player to play in it, and he missed the cut, which is really unusual. So he's a money-making machine and first MC of the year. So, shall I talk a little bit about some other golf?
LIV?
Oh, I have actually got LIV, and I did watch it because it was at Serapong, the Serapong course on Sentosa, which it has been for the last couple of years. Yeah, it was pretty good. Joaquin Niemann, I quite like him. I think he's a good player, and he plays all around the world. Won the Aussie Open a couple of years ago too, so he's playing everywhere. He's got an invite to the Masters, which he should do. Lots of talk about him being. I mean, if he was playing on the PGA Tour, would he be a top 5 player in the world?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Yeah,
I agree. But he's not because he's not getting any world ranking points, unfortunately. But yeah, look, the tournament was good. DJ, I talked smack about DJ last week, coming last in Hong Kong, and then he turned up and shot 7 or 8 under in the first round.
What a difference, right?
Yeah, I guess he can do that sort of thing. So Neiman won, Brooks Koepka second, Ben Campbell, the new recruit from New Zealand, came third. Louis Oosthuizen, John Rahm played well. Abraham Ansah, and then bringing up the rear. Let me go down to the bottom here. This is really disappointing. Frederick Ketterup, who's a newish player, but Graham McDowell, Mark Leishman, Ian Poulter, Anthony Kim, Lee Westwood. Great players who are
scraping the bottom there.
They are a little, it's a little bit disappointing. I just don't think they're trying all that hard. Martin Kime is another one.
To be honest, I was a little bit surprised to see Leishy down there.
Yeah, I was too.
Because he's been playing quite well lately.
Yeah, he has.
But on the opposite, same team member, Lucas Herbert, he's playing so well. He was in the top 10, I think.
Yeah.
He came down a little bit on the last day, but I think he was tied third or something, second day.
Yeah, the score's a little bit up and down. Sorry, I've got it in front of me. Bryson DeChambeau came tied 10th. Richard Bland, Richard Bland will almost be 50. Oh, yeah, Lucas Herbert. Shot 3 over in the last round, 3 under, 5 under, 3 over to finish tied 14th. So,
yep.
And that sort of ties into the next thing I was going to talk about. LIV has been confirmed here. The dates have been confirmed in Japan.
It has, at the Caledonian.
Near
the airport. Yeah, kind of like down towards one of the major airports, right?
No, it's across the Aqualine.
Oh, okay. Caledonian. I thought it was over by Narita.
No, that's the Glissando.
Sure. Okay. Like, so I know I've never been to Caledonian, but I've seen like some videos that we took. Like, looks, it's a beautiful course. Like,
it is a beautiful course.
You've played there, Damon. Like, what do you? Maybe you too, Joe. Like,
do
you guys imagine LIV being there? It makes sense, or?
Yeah, I think it's got the space for the fans and hospitality and everything like that. And it's a lovely, beautiful course.
Yeah, I think there's lots of boxes you've got to tick. I mean, it might be just a great golf course, but like Damon said, you've got to have room for crowds to walk and marquees. And then, of course, location's really important. Big enough driving range, which from memory, they have. And it's a good golf course. It's got a nice mixture of short, long holes. And the 18th's actually kind of cool. It's a par 5 where the bunker in front of the green actually disappears into the water.
So it's not a total LIV event?
No, it's international series.
Correct.
So it's a co-sanctioned event between the Asian Tour, the Japan Tour, and then a smattering of LIV players.
Yeah, I think there's about 15 LIV players coming.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that Lucas Herbert apparently has already signed up for it. So him and Harold Varner are two that I saw that are coming. And then other than that, I hope they get some real superstars to come over and play. So, yeah, it's just after Golden Week. I think it's May
coming up
8 to 11th.
Something like that, yeah. But we'll be out there.
Yeah, I'll have to go out and have a look. Yeah.
Shout out to Tucker and PJ. Hopefully they're going to sort us out with some tickets.
I hope so. Yeah, shout out to PJ. Congratulations. It's a terrific effort to get all this over the line.
It's kind of ironic that it's like 3 joint organizations to bring it together, because I'd heard that it did get a little political, and that it was a lot going on behind the scenes to try to pull it all together. And it got tricky with things, of course, like, different types of people can be blocking different things, like, from the course or whatever, but being able to pull it all together, it sounds like it's a good first step, right? And so at least the mothership is landing somewhat.
Yeah. I think it's great for Japan golf.
Yeah, I do too. Anytime there's lots of international golfers coming over these shores and playing golf on what is probably considered a better golf course is good for golf, for people to go over and see. Because not a lot of the international players come and play in Japan anymore, because I don't think they can afford the money, like the upfront money for the players. It's becoming too expensive. Right. So to be able to see all these great players come over and play is good.
That's why it's so interesting with the Bay Current Classic being this year in Yokohama as well, and that was like the hot topic with Travis, like that we spoke with 2 weeks or so ago now or whatever. Is that like the players will have a lot more fun. And I think at Glissando, they could also enjoy it. It's also so close. It's relatively close to Tokyo. Oh, sorry. Darn it. You put it in my mind. Yeah, the Caledonian.
Don't blame me.
The Caledonian, yeah. It's all your fault, David.
No, good. And did you watch any other golf? There was one other golf in between.
Oh, you're talking about the Creator Classic?
I am.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did. I didn't watch all of it. I thought there was... they need to work on that a little bit. It was only 9 holes, and they were showing, that young lady, Gabby Golf Girl, and 10 practice swings and her dad all over it. There was too much like them videoing practice swings and things like that, not golf. But it's a start, and it was pretty good. And the best player won.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Grant Horvath won in the playoff from Solly from low laying up. And was it Fat Perez? Was he in it as well?
He was up there, wasn't he? Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't he eagle out or something?
Yeah, I can't remember. The other point was Wesley Bryan, obviously, but they reckon he tanked.
Yeah, he did not do well.
Yeah, he didn't do well, but they reckon he did it on purpose because to be honest, he's a tour player that shouldn't be in that. I know he's a creator, but he's a completely different level. So I think he sort of hit some bad shots on purpose so he wouldn't win.
Really?
I do, yeah. He was hitting it sideways. I mean, there's one of the par threes. I think it's 13. It's probably a 5 or a 6 iron. He's hit it into the next hemisphere, and he doesn't hit shots like that. And he was kind of laughing about it. So
couldn't that make him look bad though? It seems like that could backfire on you. Like, hey, you're supposed to be just like a big shot.
Yeah, I just don't think he's got a big enough ego. He's pretty cool sort of cat. He's had success on the PGA Tour. He's won a lot of money. I think he's only won once, but still a really good player, and he's still out there. So him winning, I don't think would have been a good look.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's too good a player.
How would you rate it against TGL? Was this like the right way forward when it comes to new media?
It's real golf. It's real golf compared to not real golf.
Yeah.
I don't think you can compare it.
Yeah, I think there was only 10 in the Creator Classic, but I watched it. I thought it was good. You're right. It's on the golf course, and because they're not the best players in the world, then the average Joe kind of sees themselves in the players and the struggles and the nervousness that the players are going through. So
I think it's totally different though, like playing with your mates and then getting in front of a crowd and there was thousands of people.
Yeah, there was too. Yeah,
there's quite a lot of people there, so the nerves would be on high alert.
They'd be terribly nervous, and I think they all did quite well.
Yeah, no video editing to rescue you. Like they might
that's
normally
right.
otherwise have.
100%. Hey, I want to touch on like last week when I was playing at your course at Gotemba West.
Yeah,
I don't think I've made as many pure divots as. I mean, that course is just so different. It's just like, I saw my divots flying and they were like...
Yeah, they're like doormats, aren't they?
They were.
Yeah.
I'm 100 yards out. I've got this beautiful, beautiful divot and the ball went 20 yards,
Yeah, so the fairways are bent grass as well as the greens. The whole thing is bent. It's something about the moisture being a little bit closer to Mount Fuji and the bent, and it holds the moisture a lot. So the divots are like epic.
They're amazing. I felt like a pro apart from the actual yardage of the ball.
They cut the fairways quite short, so it sits quite... They're not what I would call thin, but if you catch any of the ground just gives. And the trouble is there's a few areas there where it's like collection areas where the golf balls will run into, and there's 100 divots in there. And they try their best to try and fix them, but yeah.
Sounds like
divots.
It's like you could be walking and suddenly, trip or something like that. Like
some of them are pretty juicy, but don't you get some tremendous divots?
Yeah.
Were the fairways striped up the other day? Did they have that? Which always looks really,
it does.
really cool. Yeah, it's a really pretty golf course. Another Shinsuke Kato design, but that's a popular one amongst people that come over because they get beaten up by the Gotemba course and they go to the West course and they don't suffer as much.
They beat it up.
They beat it up. It's a little bit. It's not easy, but it's easier than Gotemba. Yeah,
very good.
That was something you told me before too, because like the divots, like I think when we played before, like I think I made one or two, and I just felt so bad. It felt like littering or something like that, or like unintentional graffiti is the way it felt. And then you were like, no, it's just part of it. You just have to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take divots. I mean, we were always taught to go and grab the divot and put it back in. But it doesn't actually work.
I was about to say, it doesn't, right?
It doesn't.
And
it
they actually
knit.
say don't put it back, fill it with sand.
Correct. Just fill it with sand.
That's good news.
And then when the grass grows through, the ground is level. Because if you leave a hole there and the grass grows through, obviously there's going to be undulation. So, yeah. And at our golf course, and I think a lot of golf courses in Japan, they have, at the end of the day, they have a gang of caddies with, those bags full of sand, and they walk as a gang down the fairway just filling in all the divots. So... You don't have to do. I mean, we would prefer our the players and members to do it, but if they don't do it, the caddies will do it for them. Yeah. Don't be afraid of divots. It's part of the game.
All right. Well, I'll have to something else to look forward to. We're really checking boxes down on this list, and there's just one left, which is the prefecture of the week. And this week it's a badass one, by the way. Like, you speak of badass prefectures. What about Kumamoto?
So I got a shout out to Dominic Walker, who's a friend of the pod. I don't think you know Dominic. You will eventually.
Yeah, g'day, Dom.
He's a legend. I think he's from there, or his family is down there. He sort of moves between Kumamoto and Tokyo, so he's from down there. And he reckons golf down there is fantastic. He's always.
Any courses come to mind? Just like, you say Kumamoto Golf and.
No, actually, I was going through a list this morning, which I think Damon. You're going to go through some of the you have done that no.
Oh, we've spoken about it so often.
Actually, I think there was a whole bunch of golf courses. Maybe it was because that was the letter A, but Aso.
Yep, which is the big mountain there.
Is it?
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Aso Mountain. Yeah. Or are you just calling me?
Well, I was actually going to say that. Though I know you're probably named after you.
Twist your tongue and say apple. Something like that old gig.
I do believe there's a golf course there right beside the where the planes land. I think
At the airport.
Yeah, is there two airports there?
So there's I think it's actually, is there two airports? I don't know.
Maybe there's not, but beside one of the runways, apparently there's a golf course there.
Yeah, I think it's literally called the Kumamoto Airport.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, or the Kuko.
Okay.
Kuko Golf Club,
Yeah.
But otherwise you can go towards Aso, which is kind of right in the middle of that region, and on the other side is Miyazaki and that type of thing. So there's all golf courses all around there.
Yeah.
It's very, very pretty.
Kumamoto is beautiful. Like, it's I said that it's badass for a reason though too, because it has the unconquered castle, Kumamoto Castle.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
Have you been there, Damon? Like, have you seen it?
No.
It's really famous. It's a really impressive castle because, like I said, it's never been conquered except by God. It has had problems from natural disasters.
Sorry, it got conquered by God.
Yeah. That's the only one that could conquer it was God.
With lightning or?
Earthquake.
Oh.
So
okay.
it has had... actually, I was going to ask you about this too, Damon, because back in 2016... there was a big earthquake that affected Kumamoto, and Kumamoto Castle also had damage at the time.
Yeah, I do remember that. The foundations and everything got damaged, and it was almost going to totally collapse.
Which would be such a shame because it's a pretty one too. I think it's all black. I think I've been there, and it's one of those few castles where it's like renovated and cleaned up and everything like that, but there's no like shopping mall inside of it. Like in Osaka Castle, it's a reconstruction, worth seeing. I'm glad they got it, but inside is like a bit of a shopping mall. Whereas Kumamoto, it's like, you can imagine people like lining up against these walls, using the slits to to shoot arrows out of, or imagine royalty, how they would try to decorate it or get some light in there, because they're so dark inside. And so it's a really impressive castle. It's actually, Kumamoto is also the area where The Last Samurai, that movie.
Oh, really?
It's
Filmed.
kind of about that area, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at photos online of Kumamoto and Aso around that area, it's so beautiful, and there's hardly any trees. It's all like long grass and everything. Okay. It's
perfect for golf. Yeah.
No, not the golf courses itself. The in between
in general,
and it is just so pretty, and you get the nicest sunsets up there as well.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of golf courses very close to the sort of the center of town as well.
And it's reasonably priced as well.
Are you sending many people down there or many requests to...
Yep. So we got some cruise ships going in close by. So people get off the cruise ships and say, I want to go play golf.
Nice, yeah.
Or again, I think we discussed this last week. So people coming from Kyushu, like Fukuoka, they drive down through Kumamoto, up through Miyazaki, Oita, and that area. So it's always part of a bigger trip.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's so much history though. Like, Joe, are you familiar with Miyamoto Musashi?
I know that. Look, I know the name, but other than that, no.
So he was famous, like even in the 80s and stuff like that too. Like, famous all the time. He's famous today. But he wrote the Book of Five Rings, and so he's kind of like the warrior philosopher who's kind of one of his major takeaways is like the more that you excel at one thing, the more you can excel in all things.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like single-minded focus on something allows you to kind of like understand it in such a way that you are refined through that through that effort towards becoming good at something. It allows you to become better at all things. So he wrote the Book of Five Rings, which in a cave, Reigando Cave also in Kumamoto. So I think a lot of people know Musashi Miyamoto. He's quite famous. He fought 60 duels undefeated. and that's like unheard of. 60, like, you know, basically 60 formal duels, and it was undefeated in those. He's probably killed over 100 people.
And the 61st got him?
No, he retired and wrote that book and lived in a cave and you know, ate birds, you know, and bird nests or something like that. You know, just
Sorry, how long ago was this? How long ago was he alive?
this would have been. Excuse me. This would have been. I want to take a guess, like 400 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1700, something like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, like, but he was, you know, proper samurai guy, like, kind of, you know, they say about The Last Samurai, people always say, like, why is Tom Cruise The Last Samurai? That movie's not about him. That movie's about Watanabe Ken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Playing Saigo Takamori. And so that would have been a little bit after the period of Miyamoto Musashi,
Okay.
Bushido times.
Very good.
That'd have been a long way after.
Oh, would it? You might be right.
No, that movie, like Last Samurai, that was in the Edo. Edo era is like the late 1800s.
Isn't it
Sorry, the
Meiji?
Meiji, late 1800s.
Yeah, it would have been like, you're right. I mean, it would have been like,
Just a couple hundred years difference.
I would say like 80 years is what would have been my guess. Like, it's like, wait. Did I say four? Yeah,
said
you might be
400.
right. I think 400 years is too early for
Right,
Miyamoto
okay.
Musashi. I think maybe more like 200, 300, something like that.
Gotcha.
Like ChatGPT, save me now. Yeah. Cool.
Actually, this golf course, the one beside the
The airport,
Kumamoto Golf,
Kuko,
looks really
which is-
cool, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks.
it
looks
is
nice.
literally right next to the airport.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, the golf course that's right next to the airport?
Yeah,
That sounds convenient.
yeah. Have you had many people playing there? Can you remember?
yeah. No, we do. I mean, it's a busy course, so it's sometimes a little bit hard to get a reservation. But I think people want to go. If they're coming to Kumamoto, they don't want to just get off the airplane and play next to a golf course. They want
true.
to explore a little bit more, so they go a little bit further out.
Okay.
Most better for the locals, you know, like, Sonny, you know, like, sorry, you know, like you're telling your wife, you know, I got to take another business trip, but why do you have to leave, you know, 8 hours ahead of time? You know, you got to hit the course first.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? I love looking at inquiries that come through, and you know, there's over 2,000 courses in Japan, and you know, there's always the courses that people usually go to, the usual suspects. So you know it and stuff like that, and you know, you think you become a bit of an expert of all the courses in Japan. And then customers sometimes surprise you. They put an inquiry through for a particular golf course that you've never, ever heard of before.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, nah, that's not a real golf course. And you look it up. It's on our website.
Right.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know? But good stuff.
we were talking a moment ago about how, like, the higher end that a golf course is, the more like systematic, or the higher pace of like keep up with the group ahead of you, right? And just keep moving. Like, I don't know. Like, seems like that's doubly true of Japan compared to other countries as well, and that like the pace of play needs to be so fast. Like our other courses, because like we were saying that sometimes people don't quite recognize that when they're trying to book a time in Japan, is that they feel like it's, you know, I'll get there when I get there, or
Easy breezy.
and that's not really the style in Japan, is it?
No, I mean, if I speak from Tahero's point of view, if somebody misses a tee time, we generally can't fit them in. I mean, anywhere else in the world when I've worked at golf courses, if someone rocks up a little bit late, generally you can kind of you can work them in on the back nine, or take them out to a point on the golf course where there aren't people playing. So you can usually do it. But here they're quite strict. We just find that if people miss, you miss. And just don't be late. So that's why we always suggest make sure you're at minimum 45 minutes early, which gives you a little bit of time if there is a little bit of traffic, because the whole process is, you got to remember, if your tee time is 9:45, it means you're hitting the ball at 9:45. You don't turn up at 9:30, because it takes a while to get there and register and find the the bathroom and the locker room and maybe the driving range and all that sort of thing. So 45 minutes minimum at our golf courses. I would say in that regard they're probably a little bit more strict, but that's just the way it goes. In terms of playing, the speed of play, I think Australia is worse. I mean, there's so much more passive aggressiveness in Australia on golf courses of speed of play. You know, you've got to keep up with the group in front, and if anybody's ever slow, they really get lambasted. I mean, they really hammer people with that sort of thing. Whereas I think here is, look, there's an expectation. If you play at those more expensive golf courses, it's typically a it's a members golf course. So if it's a members golf course, there's an expectation that you would play at a certain speed. But it's worse in Australia.
You got to remember as well, in Japan, a lot of the courses, they have the remote control carts.
Yeah.
So you're not self-driving. So there's no passing other players if they're slow or you're fast or whatever. So speed of play is quite important.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, you just got to keep up with the group in front. I always tell people, don't look at the people behind you. Just as long as you can see the people in front, you're okay. But I've never seen any aggressiveness on any golf courses here. If said group was a little bit slow, I just don't think it's been part of their culture. But in other places, it definitely is.
Yeah, for sure.
I think people also here tend to they play a lot of stroke play here. So it's the longest form of the game. But I don't think people are in a huge rush here because golf in Japan just takes all day.
Yeah, it's a day event.
Yeah, so why rush around?
This is so true. People aren't rushing to do 18 holes before they go to work or anything like
exactly,
that.
Yeah, and you've got the stop for an hour after 9 holes anyway, so, it's definitely, the culture here is definitely different.
Oh, that sounds
which is nice. It's just different. And I think it sometimes is also up to the caddy. If you fall behind, it's also up to the caddy to make sure that you
if you have a caddy.
If you have a caddy.
A lot of the times on the GPS on the cart as well, it tells you if you're slow or even if you're fast. And if you're overly slow, an alarm will go off and remind you to speed up.
Yeah, the big red thing flashes on the screen and says,
you almost think it's like the big earthquake warning is coming,
Yeah. More important.
But I think that the staff here are a lot more forgiving.
Pick it up, loser.
They're a lot more forgiving of slow play here.
Yeah.
Not that it's okay, but they're not going to be all over you. I mean, you don't find the marshal out in the golf courses here giving you a hard time because you're slow.
Okay. Well, I guess the takeaway then is but to take it seriously, that the time that you've set.
It's important. Yeah. Just turn up on time and like anywhere else in the world, just keep up with the group in front.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Good.
Well, with the spring equinox coming up in a day or two, I think that there's going to be a lot of people lining up to keep up with the group in front and play a lot of golf.
Lots of golf
this Thursday, this weekend, and we'll look forward to hearing how the other partner course come together for you next week too, Damon.
Yep.
No video, I think, this week. We'll have to welcome back KC soon, but in the meantime,
we really didn't give him a hard time, did we? No, it's all right.
Oh, we can add another couple of hours to the podcast.
sorry, Ryan.
We'll just have to give him a dead arm, punch him in the arm when he comes back.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's having a good time. He's out with family, so you can't begrudge a man for that.
That's true.
Alrighty. Well, until next time, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
See you next time.